Trump is seeking the death penalty for Luigi Mangione. The New York Times is reporting that prosecutors from Trump's Justice Department are seeking the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, the alleged murderer of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Attorney General Pam Bondi's announcement that she will pursue the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, explicitly citing an executive order by President Trump, is more than just a legal development. It's part of a deeply troubling authoritarian trend that marks Trump's tenure, using state power not to uphold justice, but to send a political message rooted in fear, domination, and control. Make no mistake, the brutal killing of Brian Thompson deserves justice, no question. But when a death sentence is handed down as part of a top-down directive, one reinstated by a president, not determined by prosecutors or juries, it reveals a dangerous consolidation of power. Under Trump, we saw this repeatedly. The federal death penalty was revived not to protect the public, but to make an example. It was about asserting the state's authority to kill. This fits a larger pattern. Peaceful protesters were swept off the streets in unmarked vans by unidentified federal agents in Portland, Oregon in Trump's first term, a tactic later echoed in chilling incidents on college campuses that happened recently. At Tufts University, Rumesa Öztürk, a Turkish doctoral student, was detained by masked Homeland Security agents without explanation while on her way to break fast during Ramadan. She was thrown into a detention center in Louisiana despite a court order and accused without trial of supporting terrorism. All after publishing a single op-ed critical of Israel. At Columbia University, Mahmoud Khalil, a graduate student and permanent resident, was arrested in front of his pregnant wife for his pro-Palestinian activism and disappeared into federal custody with no due process. These were not random actions, they were targeted silencing of dissenters. Disappearing students for political expression is not the act of a free democracy, it is the hallmark of authoritarian regimes. Thanks, Trump. Even more chilling was the deportation machinery. Trump's administration didn't just deport undocumented immigrants or Venezuelan gang members. That was just a pretense. It mistakenly deported a father to El Salvador, where he was thrown into prison without cause. His only crime was a bureaucratic error by Trump's administration. He was ripped away from his family and sent into a dangerous carceral system, as if due process were optional. The message was clear. The government could destroy your life on a whim, and there would be no accountability. Now, in invoking Trump's executive order to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, Bondi reinforces that same message, that the state can and will determine who lives and who dies, based not just on the crime, but on political optics. Justice should never be dictated by authoritarian precedent. We must remain vigilant when our legal institutions are used not to protect the vulnerable, but to amplify power from the top down. The Mangione case deserves justice, but it must be justice rooted in fairness, not fear.